Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel, where we dive into the latest and greatest in the automotive world. The Porsche Macan is a hot seller and a bastion of hope for Porsche, as nearly 80% of Macan customers are new to the brand and likely to stick around and buy something else from Porsche in the future. To keep that kind of success and gateway to its pricier models going, the German automaker has repackaged its hot little compact luxury SUV into something all new and all electric with the 2025 Porsche Macan EV. It grows a little bit over the standard gas model, but its performance gains and technology overhaul should propel it far into a successful future and more expensive price point. Here's what we know so far about the two launch models of the upcoming Macan EV ahead of its full reveal in January 2024. Macan EV design. Nobody outside of Porsche has seen the final all-electric Macan exterior design overhaul yet, despite us being flown out to Leipzig to talk all about it. Expect to see the full thing by the end of January, when it should be revealed in its two launch trims. A lower standard performance model paired with a high-performance variant. All Macan EVs should come with AC charging ports on both sides of the vehicle for convenience, with a DC port limited to just one side depending on market. It's expected to be available with 20 to 22-inch wheels across two available powertrains, including a 22-inch lightweight forged wheel option. The performance model we were given a lap in was riding on 255/45 R21 front and 295/40 R21 rear tires. It will be bigger than the current gas-powered Macan compact luxury SUV, but still be classified as compact, with a stretched wheelbase, now 113.8 inches versus the standard Macan's 110 inches. As a benefit of the all-electric shared PPE vehicle platform, the Macan EV is based on. The EV is also about 2 inches longer now overall. An interior image embedded further down in this article also seemingly reveals the new Turbonite style. Gray badging Porsche previously announced would be an exclusive option for turbo trim models, which would strongly suggest that the new Macan EV will launch with a turbo trim variant. So we'll now run with the assumption that will be the higher performance model to start. If you're curious, the Macan EV battery carries a rich 8.1.1 mixture of nickel, cobalt, and manganese in its 12-module, 180 prismatic cell, gross 100 kWh pack, which should promise 30% greater energy density than we'd guess the Taycan setup. Also, the rear axle pulse inverter now gets silicon carbide for reduction in switching losses, with just silicon still in the front setup. The battery packs can also now be easily repaired with their modular setup, designed in a way for each of the 12 modules to be individually removed and repaired or replaced should any issues arise. Macan EV power and range specs. For now, Porsche has only confirmed what's likely to be the more powerful of the two launch Macan trims. It's good for 603 horsepower and 733 lb-ft of torque from two updated permanently excited synchronous motor (PSM) units, one linked to the front and one linked to the rear wheels, offering all-wheel drive and torque vectoring and powered through a two-stage single-speed transmission. That available 100 kWh battery pack is said to be good for an estimated 500 kilometers, or roughly 310 miles of range on a full charge, though that's not an EPA figure yet, and likely only reflects the standard performance launch model. That standard performance all-wheel drive trim is expected to be available at launch with less horsepower and torque for a lower starting price we estimate will fall at around $80,000. We'll have to wait for specific power specs, but we anticipate it will target the current gas-powered Macan GTS performance with more than 400 HP to slot under the higher performance launch trim. In the future, it's possible that Porsche plans to offer an even lower entry-level EV trim, which could come with rear-wheel drive, as well as an even higher performance model further down the line after launch. Macan EV charging, chassis, and suspension setup. The new Macan EV rides on the PPE chassis architecture shared with Audi. Porsche claims it will be able to manufacture pure electric Macans alongside gas models and other model line production at its Leipzig, Germany factory. A double wishbone axle suspension setup supports the front and is configured around the front motor drive unit, with a multi-link axle at the rear. A coil spring suspension setup is offered from the factory in some markets, which is available with an available Porsche Active Suspension Management (PASM) upgrade that features new 2-valve shock absorbers with greater damper characteristic spread and more tuning fidelity for the driver between sport and comfort settings. It's expected that all US Macan EVs will get air suspension setups, however. The PASM system is also available with the Macan EV's available air suspension setup with the same trick damper adjustment, though these models can also raise or lower the body for easier entry, or at high speeds for improved aerodynamics, from 30mm to plus 40mm from base height. The suspension settings should offer normal, sport, sport plus, and off-road modes. Macan EV models equipped with the performance rear axle setup, likely dubbed the Turbo at launch, will get a slightly rear-biased 48-52 weight balance, with the rear electric drive unit fastened directly to the structure at 4 points for improved chassis stiffness and noise and vibration management. An electronically controlled differential lock on the rear axle is also standard on these models as part of the Porsche Torque Vectoring Plus system. Rear axle steering will also be available on turbo models for improved handling and turning radius, with a 15% more direct steering ratio to the front axle. Similar to the Porsche Taycan EV, the new Macan EV will use an 800-volt system, now with a charging capacity of up to 270 kWh to shoot from 10 to 80% state of charge for the battery in less than 22 minutes. Any 400-volt charging kiosks will also be able to enable bank charging of the battery pack, which essentially splits the 800-volt battery into 2 separate units, which are then aligned, each with a nominal 400 volts, that can be charged in parallel at up to 150 kWh through a single cord. A new so-called Integrated Power Box, IPB, joins the separate onboard 11 kWh AC charger, the 6 kWh high-voltage heater, and the DC-DC converter components into a single lighter unit that shaves off more than 6 pounds of weight. Macan EV interior and technology. Inside the new Macan EV is a bevy of standard and optional screens, with all cars getting a 10.9-inch center dashboard touchscreen paired with a 12.6-inch driver display. You can also option up to an augmented reality head-up display unit, apparently equivalent up to an 87-inch display ahead of the driver, and passengers can enjoy an optional 10.9-inch passenger side screen that is shielded from view for the driver while moving. A new standard informational ambient lighting setup changes the pattern based on whatever the vehicle is doing, with a welcome greeting, charging status indicators, special launch control lighting mode, and more, in various blue, red, and green hues. The Porsche voice assistant has also been updated for more natural question and answering, as well as quicker response times, and can recognize whether the driver or passenger is asking the question based on location of sound in the car. The new Macan EV runs on an Android-based infotainment system shared with the likes of the new Porsche Panamera we recently covered. That means you now get access to familiar and popular digital applications like Spotify, Zoom, YouTube, and TikTok on the center and passenger screens, with limited functionality depending on if the car is driving or not, of course. The car's navigation app has been heavily overhauled for improved route planning that incorporates charging stops, with preferences available for select charging service providers and with live charger availability updates. Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, Porsche says 85% of its customers use Apple iPhones, are also better integrated now. with the non-Porsche map applications now porting to the driver's instrument cluster for improved visibility. The second of 4 planned all-electric Porsches. The new Macan EV marks the second of 4 announced all-electric Porsches that are in the works or already available. That includes the Taycan EV sedan and shooting brake models, as well as upcoming E78 coupe, and potential roadster sports cars, and a new electric SUV that's said to be big enough for 3 rows of seating to slot above the current and any future Cayenne SUV models, gas or electric. The Taycan EV is assembled in Zuffenhausen, Germany, while the gas and hybrid Panamera, gas and electric Macan, and future electric 3-row SUV will all be assembled in Leipzig, Germany. We want to say the Macan EV will obviously take the fight to the likes of the Tesla Model Y, Ford Mustang Mach-E, and Hyundai Ioniq 5, but this new age of all-electric vehicle debuts has confused us. The Model Y is technically a little bigger than this Macan EV will be. The Mustang isn't a luxury model, and the Ioniq is a weird mix of performance and luxury that doesn't quite land in the Porsche's sandbox either. So maybe the new Macan EV will be breaking new ground in the EV space when it launches next year. Porsche is certainly proud to brag that it'll be the first B-segment SUV with rear-wheel steering.